Now, Japan is bracing for political uncertainty after Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba announced his resignation on Sunday. At 68, Ishiba said he had instructed his ruling Liberal Democratic Party to hold an emergency leadership race and vowed to serve until his successor is chosen. His decision follows a string of election defeats. In less than a year in office, Ishiba saw his coalition lose majorities in both houses of parliament amid growing public anger over soaring living costs. Calling for him to step down intensified after July's upper house loss. At a press conference, Ishiba said he wanted to pass the baton to the next generation, noting that Japan had just cleared a key hurdle by signing a trade agreement with the United States on tariffs that have hit the country's vital auto sector. Markets reacted nervously even before his announcement. The yen and government bonds sold off last week, with the 30-year yield hitting a record high, reflecting fears of prolonged political paralysis. Attention now turns to who will succeed him. Among the frontrunners are LDP veteran Sanae Takaichi, known for her support of looser fiscal and monetary policy, and Shinjiro Koizumi, the high-profile farm minister and son of former Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi. Analysts say Koizumi is unlikely to bring major shifts, while Takaichi's economic stance could draw scrutiny from markets. But uncertainty remains. The LDP no longer commands a majority in either house of parliament, raising doubts over whether its next leader will automatically become prime minister. A snap election there is possible, though a new Kyoto poll shows most Japanese voters do not think it's necessary. Ishiba's resignation marks a dramatic fall for a leader who narrowly defeated Takaichi in last year's party race. His final act as premier was to seal a $550 billion investment pledge with Washington in exchange for tariff relief, a deal he hoped would shield Japan's fragile economy. Now, with Ishiba stepping aside, Japan faces a leadership vacuum at a delicate moment for the world's fourth largest economy.
Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba said on Sunday he will be stepping down, ushering in a potentially lengthy period of policy paralysis at a shaky moment for the world's fourth largest economy. At a news conference, Ishiba said he has instructed his Liberal Democratic Party to hold an emergency leadership race. He added that he would continue his duties until the new LDP leader is elected. Ishiba came to power less than a year ago with promises to revive his scandal-hit party. Since then, his ruling coalition lost its majorities in elections for both houses of parliament amid voter anger over rising living costs. Last week, concern over political uncertainty led to a sell-off in Japan's yen currency and its government bonds. Until Sunday, the 68-year-old had refused calls to step down. Ishiba had focused instead on ironing out details of a trade deal with the United States on President Donald Trump's tariffs, which have roiled Japan's critical automotive industry and cast a shadow over weak growth. Ishiba's last act as premier will have been to finalize the US deal last week. That involves Japan pledging $550 billion of investments in return for lower tariffs. On Sunday, Ishiba described it as having overcome a key hurdle, saying, "I would like to pass the baton to the next generation." However, since the party does not have a majority in either house, it is not guaranteed that the next LDP leader will become prime minister. Lawmakers can nominate any candidates from the chamber, and historically, the leaders of opposition parties have been put forward for the vote.